wanted to actually do some examples of what I was talking about in the last video with login shells and non-login shells and aliases. So you can see I'm logged into my machine. Let's do ls minus L and view all the files that are there. So we have a bash rc. Now recall, a bash rc was used for a non-login shell. A .profile was used for a login shell. So let's just see if that holds true. First thing I'm going to do is I think down here at the end of my .profile, I'm going to say hello from my profile. In fact, we could delete all the stuff up above and just have this an empty for now and see if it works. But I'm going to leave some of that there because I do like some of what that does. So I'm going to exit out of that. So we said that's a login shell. Let's just SSH to my local host. So it prompts me for a password and it prompts me for a login shell. Looks like it did say hello from my profile. Now I went earlier and I put it in my bash RC as well. So let's just look. I'm going to exit back out of my SSH connection. And let's look at my, because I said only the .profile should be executing. Well, if we were to actually read through here, it actually has some code here that says, first thing I want you to do is go call the home directory .bashrc. Look, it's making use of that $home shell variable or environment variable, and then calling it. We can actually call our scripts using this dot operator or the source command. So as an example, let's say let's just source .profile, and you can see that it ran. I can also call .profile. We use dot in a lot of ways in Linux, but a dot is the same way of saying go call this file. Okay, well, let's also now do a non-login shell. Now we said non-login is in my bash RC, and I already went and put this code at the very bottom, hello from the bash RC. So let's execute a non-login shell. And by typing that as a non-login shell, it basically spawns another shell, and you can see I exit out of that shell, but you can see it did run. So that was a non-login shell. Okay, well, what's the takeaway here? It seems to me that if my .profile calls my .bashrc, I'm going to put all my aliases in my .profile. And you can even create some other, I've seen some different versions where they say, you can see some other stuff. We can have it so it goes and calls a dot variable file if we have it created. But I'm just going to put them in here. So I'm going to create an alias called foo, and all it's going to do is ls minus L. Then I'll create another alias called bar, and it's going to do cat etc password. And then I'm going to do an alias log, and it's going to try to cat out /var log syslog, which I probably won't have permissions to do, but we'll just see if the alias works. Okay, so I save it. And now remember, I either have to log out and log back in to make that available, or I can just call it. And now I hope if I type the alias command, you can see I've got this foo one. So foo, awesome. Log, oh, okay, awesome. So that did work. I didn't have to do any special. And what was my other one? Bar, awesome. So now I've just demonstrated how to use the login shell file, or the dot profile, and the .bashrc or the non-login shell profile. So those are important to understand. There's a lot of other commands you can put in there. Certainly you've seen me put echo commands in there, and we're not going to get in, but pretty much any command that we've learned this semester you can stick in that file. Try it, see what happens. The last thing is that we can customize our environment variables, one of which is, and you can go read about this, the PS1. This controls how our prompt displays. There's some codes there that tell it to print out the username and the host name and some other things. So if I were to change that, PS1 equals hello, maybe followed by, I think, a $sign like that. You can see now my prompt changed to that. Fortunately, I didn't save it in one of my login in my .profile or .bashrc. So if I exit back out and connect back in, it should be back to normal. But we can easily set our prompt and customize it using that and sticking it in the correct file.